Should you hit 16? You know the feeling. You're playing blackjack and your first card lands in front of you. It's a 10. Fantastic. You sit up a little bit in anticipation for a strong score of 20 or maybe even blackjack. Then splat. Your second card lands, it's a big ugly 6, turning your hand into the worst score you can have at the blackjack table. So what do you do in this situation? In this video, we're going to answer that question. Depending on your experience level, you'll likely know that the answer is, it depends on the situation. Before we take a look at the different scenarios that factor into this question, it's worth mentioning with a score of 16, no matter what decision we make, we are favourites to lose the hand. 16 is the worst score you can receive on the blackjack table. As you watch this video until the end, you'll see why. With a score of 16, we're in a terrible spot. If we stay with our score of 16, we can only win if the dealer goes bust. However, if we do take another card, 8 out of 13 will make us go bust. That's a huge probability of over 61%. In addition to this, even 40% of the time when we don't go bust, there's still no guarantee we will win the hand. With that huge bust rate in mind, you might be thinking the answer to the question, should you hit 16, is a resounding no. Let's take a look at the scenarios where you would be correct, and that is the case. Remember, the casino has a house edge because we make our decision first. Players can often go bust before the dealer needs to make any action. Looking at our basic strategy chart, we see that when the dealer is showing a card 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, then we don't need to put ourselves at risk. When a dealer has these cards, it means they will have to take another card, putting themselves at risk of going bust. We don't want to make it easy for the dealer. They'll have to beat us by getting to 17 or higher if they want to take our money. Remember what I said at the start of the video, we're still favourites to lose this hand. Looking at the dealer bust chart, we can see with all these cards, the dealer is more likely to make a hand than not. However, the decision to take a card in these situations will result in us losing less often. Now, let's take a look at scenarios where we would hit with a score of 16. Going back to our optimal strategy chart, we see that when the dealer has a card of 7 or higher, we now need to take another card. With these cards, the dealer's probability of going bust has reduced dramatically. Let's look at an ace, for example. There's around an 11% chance that the dealer will go bust when their face card is an ace. With a score of 16, if the dealer doesn't go bust, then we have lost our money. This means if we were to stand on 16 against the dealer's ace 100 times, we would only win 11 times. That's a fast way to lose our money. We can see a similar story when the dealer's face card is a 10, 9 and 8. We would only expect to win 21 to 23% of the time by solely relying on the dealer to go bust. With this expected win rate being so low, we can't just stand on our score of 16, we need to try and improve it. As mentioned earlier, there's a 61% probability that we will go bust, but that's better than our expected loss rate of between 79 and 77% by doing nothing. Unfortunately, let's not forget, we might be lucky enough to receive a card that doesn't send us over 21, but we could still easily lose this hand. With a dealer's face card of 7, optimal blackjack strategy suggests that mathematically speaking, hitting is our best option, for the same reason we hit against an 8, 9, 10 or ace. I personally have no issue standing on a 16 when the dealer shows a 7. The probability of the dealer going bust has now increased to 30%, and I like to reduce the amount of times I go bust when playing blackjack. Going bust on 16 and then finding out the dealer would have gone bust is more annoying to me than watching the dealer make a made hand and beating my 16. This is particularly true if I've been counting cards or just paying close attention to other cards on the table. If there have been a lot of small cards and I think a big card is coming, then I won't take a card on my 16 against the dealer's 7. With more high cards remaining, I know my chances of going bust are potentially higher than 61%. If the dealer doesn't have a score of 17 with their first 2 cards, then they're at risk of going bust. You might find yourself on a blackjack table where surrender is an option. This means you can decide to lose half of your bet and walk away from the stinky score of 16. This is an option of a guaranteed loss of half of your money, or play the hand and probably lose all of it. If you've ever surrendered on a blackjack table in a casino, you've probably received a hard time from the other players or even the dealer. Your ego might get hurt and you might just fundamentally disagree with giving up on a hand and half of your money. But if your main focus is making money at the blackjack table, then consider surrendering if you have a score of 16 and the dealer has an ace or a 10. You are most likely to lose this hand no matter what you do. Try to think of it as saving half of your stake rather than losing half. As annoying as it can be, being stuck with a 16 is just part of the game. We need to take the rough with the smooth. The strategy outlined in this video is to help reduce your chances of losing with a 16. If you were dealt a 16 every hand, you would have absolutely no chance of being a profitable blackjack player. If you are interested in learning more about how you can make money playing online casino games like blackjack, subscribe to the channel and visit the website. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.